Rugby League is back. Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring team.
Oh, partner.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Karl, running the cutter on my own in studio today. Paul Mawate has been stood down. He's gone.
Not surprising.
Little break. I'm taking over. Do you know what this stemmed from? I've been looking at the betting results. This is a betting show. Paul is $1,687 in the negative. That is hard to do.
Apparently not. Apparently Paul can do it very easily.
That is the voice of the great man, Nick Tedeschi. Teddy, how was your week, mate?
Look, I've somewhat gotten over the Bulldogs' sad demise, so it was just good to be able to get back to watching footy. It was highly frustrating to see that this was the week that they decided to put the whistle away and just not call anything. So don't know why you can't do that all year, because it was, I'm pretty critical of Ashley Klein, but the way the Sharks Cowboys game flowed, it was just great footy. And I wish they just do it every week instead of having to find these pedantic ways to spoil games.
Yep, I agree. And our third man in, the Nathan Hindmarsh, if you will, of the pod this week, Blake Ashford. Welcome back, mate.
I don't know how I feel about that, but thanks for having me in again, Karl. Look, hey mate, it was a good week for me too. Watching Manly and the Roosters the other day. Hey,
I said yes. Sorry. How was your week?
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. And I was probably like every other Sharks fan. I had my feet up on the couch watching them play semi-final footy because I know none of them got out to the game. So it was a good weekend watching the footy.
That was embarrassing how few Sharks fans went to the football on Friday night. That was, particularly with the Swans next door. And there's always going to be that compare and contrast. Like, it was abhorrent, I thought. I know the Cowboys don't draw, I know the Sharks don't have a huge fan base. The low crowd there I thought it was embarrassing.
Oh, Nico Hines seemed to think there's a few people out there. He was praising the crowd, saying they got them home.
Well, I'm not going to jump on the Nico Hines bashing bandwagon that has become very popular of late. It's I was pleased to see Nico play well in the final. It was good as hell. I thought his defence in particular was very good.
He's up against it this week, but we'll get to that shortly. Lads, last night, just quickly, I went to the opening of Full Time Bar in Auckland. This is the bar that the Warriors own in Auckland, and it is a game changer in terms of sports bars in New Zealand. Like, probably a standard thing across Australia.
I was about to say, do they have televisions down there?
They do. Lots of televisions. Dedicated punting areas, dedicated racing rooms.
That's awesome. What is in the city?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's right next to Eden Park, the home of rugby union. But
there's ahead of it.
There's a screen. I think someone told me it's the first one in Australasia. It's a 32-meter screen that wraps around the bar.
Oh, I've seen those in America. Like, it's incredible.
Oh, it's so cool. They can segment them out. Like, it's like 5 different TVs in one, or play along the whole thing. It's very cool.
Yeah, nice. That's great. Warriors fever still fever pitch by the sounds of it.
Absolutely, Warriors are king at the moment. Always are. All right. Betting. Just on a general level, how'd you go last week and across the week?
Fill up, except for the Sharks' refusal to take the 2 to go up to 46 points. Cost me significantly. I wasn't quick enough to grab the 43.5 I tipped up on the podcast. Took the 45.5 and then cursed that television for the last 20 minutes. And I'm I'm highly unlikely to forgive the leadership group at the Sharks anytime soon. Just waste 2 minutes, you duds. Other than that, no, it was a good week and good week on the AFL. This will mean nothing to New Zealanders, but it was Brownlow medal night on Monday night, and I've watched less than 2 minutes of AFL this year and probably had 250 bets on it. On Brownlow, it's one of the great events of the great betting events of all time. So incredible. So just coming down today.
250 responsible bets.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, mate, well, I can tell you mine was a little bit of a fill-up as well. Obviously, my AFL team, the Swans, I'm in the final, so I'm well represented in that, just as I am still in the NRL.
Because you can go around some codes play.
Mate,
Did you
get
play for
around
the Swans
codes.
too? Or
Sorry?
did you play for the Swans as well?
No, trained at their facility, though, so that counts. That counts. I've got a jersey of them signed that I bought at an auction one night, very, very intoxicated, signed by their grand final winning team from many years ago. But no, it was a good win. Obviously, tipped the Roosters, tipped the Sharks, so it was a nice little fill-up in that. Still, Karl felt got to have a word to Teddy, who sort of gave him the moral stature last week, said he, the best, and he's the only one that let me down for a massive fill-up for us here.
He did do his hamstring about 10 minutes into the game, so that didn't.
Yeah,
that didn't help.
Yeah, it didn't help.
Yeah, you talk to Karl Felton. I need to talk to Sione Katoa or the referees because that cost me one too.
I would love to argue that to be a try. I was desperate for that to be a try, Karl, and unfortunately he dropped that one. I still don't know how he didn't score, but he didn't.
Yeah. Look, let's just make a call. Just back yourself and make a call.
Yeah.
I had one of the great. I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I had one of the great days on the punt racing on Saturday. I had another one on this Saturday gone. It was up there with, I'd say, top 3 all time.
Did you also pick J-Mac to ride the quaddie?
Did not. No quaddies. Just straight winners and a couple of same race multis.
Beauty.
Same race multis. You are sick for a same race multi.
Sick for a same race multi, honestly.
You might be the only person I know in the world who bets on same race multis. So, well done to you.
I love it. Like, it's so much fun.
You know what I want to see them do with the same race multi? Just a little prod on the back for those at the Entain and Taylor New Zealand product teams. Just drag it out. Like I want to be able to bet like a horse to finish top 8 or top 10, or like I want the 100-to-1 shot, who I don't think is going to win, but I think he's over the odds to bet him to run in the not bottom 2. That's what I want to see it dragged all the way down. So then I'm into the same race multis,
or the same race multi into a same race multi. Tried to do that. That hasn't. You can't do that actually at the moment. You can do a same game multi into a same game multi, but same race. Can't do it at the moment.
Same game into same race.
Sorry.
Have you tried same game into same race?
No, I haven't.
Just a little bit of homework for the product team out there.
A little bit of homework for us too. Try some stuff.
There's not much over to try, but trying to get a same race multi to a same game multi is absolutely one of them.
All right, we'll have a quick look at how we went with our podcast bets. Paul lost. He said he's 1.6k, nearly 1.7k. Teddy, you had a winner. Got given the benefit of the doubt over the weekend.
It wasn't benefit of the doubt. I did tip it at 43.5.
Wow. Look, I saw the text come through. It said we're giving Teddy the benefit of the doubt. So,
well, you got the text come through from the bloke who's lost $1,600. I'd be a little bit wary of what he's saying.
Yeah, the Sharks, the over, and the Roosters and the over, $80 at 8.22 for a massive collect of $577.60.
Still not back on the black yet, apparently.
Still not back. Down $196.
I'm getting there though.
Good week though. I lost $100. I was having a look. Round 12 this year. Karl was up $1,006.
What is it now?
I am now up $293.
Oh, gee. You're within range though.
This is one of the great bleeds of all time. Surly, MIA. Blake, 4 bets last week.
2 bets.
2 bets last week. 1 winner, 1 loser. The Sharks Roosters, $80 at $2.59 to return 127.20. And then Felt, Mulitalo, Tedesco, Young, $20 lost there.
Karl Felt.
So you're up 107 for the week. You are down 442 overall.
You know what? For a bloke who scored as many tries as he has, and as etched in Cowboys lore as he has, bloody hell, that bloke has cost me a lot of cash. I seem to get him at the complete wrong time. Like, go to Super League, enjoy it, Pep.
The same happened the week before. I tipped him out to score 2. He scores 1 within the first 30 seconds, and then MIA.
He scores on the weekend, then me and Teddy are both chasing you down, Karl. But sadly, it's only on Teddy.
Right, before we move on, little exclusive here, Laz, little Advantage Line exclusive for the listeners, for the punters. If you've made it 12 minutes into the podcast, you're in for a real treat, I'll tell you that much. Right, we're a little promo code, a little bet match offer for the punters here on the Storm and Roosters game. So, the offer is place a pre-match winning team and margin bet on the prelim final between Storm and the Roosters. And if your bet doesn't win, you get up to $20 back as bonus cash.
You won't need the bonus cash. Total bonus cash given back by a TRB, 0. Because everyone must be on the Storm 13 plus.
20. So essentially, it's a free crack. There you go.
Love that.
It is. So head to the bonus cash page on the app or the website, and there's a little coupon box there. TAL20. TAL20. That's your code. Put that in, and then place your bet, and we're away laughing.
TAL, the initials of this podcast, and the initials of my life insurance firm. So there you go.
Not a coincidence.
Not a coincidence at all.
So look, you've made it 12 minutes. You've got a little offer. Now you've got to sit around for another 40 before you hear our tips for the game.
That's not a little offer. That's a free crack. Nothing better than a free crack.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's have a little bit of fun with a divided opinion. I was thinking about this on the plane ride home this morning from Auckland. So Victor Radley played last week, kind of against all odds with a broken scapula. And he played pretty well too. Who, in your guys' opinion, is the toughest player, or a player who's played through the toughest injury in recent-ish memory? I've got a list of guys here. I did some digging, but I'd like to hear from you guys first.
Well, before we get into it, the standard is John Sattler, who played through the 1970 grand final with a broken jaw, and not a fractured or cracked jaw, that it was so bad that he had to bite down his mouth guard to hold it in place. And when the game finished, this happened 6 minutes in, from a vicious punch to the head, the bottom part of his jaw fell off and just slipped out of place. So that's pretty tough.
I don't think it quite fell off, but
No, it fell out of place. It didn't fall off onto the ground, but it fell out of place. So it was being held together by him biting down his mouth guard. So, this was not some small, not to criticise Sam Burgess, because as soon as he fractured his face in the 2014 grand final on the first hit up, I knew we were completely cast after that. This was going to be heroic. So, no, this was serious. But yeah, I'll start off. Sam Burgess playing through the grand final was incredible.
His face was pretty mangled.
Yeah, that exactly where my head went. I've actually had the same injury as him, and I can tell you, I went straight off the field and missed about 6 weeks and was a little baby. So for him to play 79 minutes and 30 seconds of a grand final with that fractured eye socket, I mean, I don't think they come much tougher than that, to be honest, because it's not like he was out on the wing or somewhere where he can not make tackles. He was in the middle having to put his head in places that you just don't want to put it So yeah, he in recent memory, he's my toughest that we've known about. But look, I think there's a lot of players that play that are injured that we just don't know about at the moment. Like Turbo's, there was a big effort on the weekend. His shoulder, his knees, like it's huge the amount of times he would have to get needled up. But yeah, Sammy Burgess definitely the one that comes to mind.
Yeah, it's same for me. He was the one that came to mind immediately. The other one was, I think we talked about it last week, maybe Teddy, Cooper Cronk and his broken shoulder in that grand final. Like into the game with a broken shoulder, played with a dinner suit on, but did it to a standard that essentially won the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That's pretty special.
Darren Lockyer in his last game as well. I forget exactly what the injury was, but
broken cheekbone.
Broken cheekbone, yeah, and then kicked the winning field goal. So, incredible performance. That's not what stands to mind in terms of. Yeah, it's just absolute toughness to get out there. Yeah, toughness can mean a lot of things in footy. It's not just always the big blokes who are spraying people everywhere. So, you think of someone like a Jeff Tuvey. I'd hate to imagine the injuries he carried in every game. He just looked battered and bruised. And people forget how tiny he was. Like in an era where they're not giants, they're not the giants that we get today. But he was just battered and bruised. And then for him to finish his career at hooker, he was just constantly getting battered and bruised. Like, I think of someone like him, he to me is personifies rugby league toughness.
Yeah.
A couple of others I came across. Peter Wallace played the second game in Origin 08 with a ruptured testicle. There's a few ruptured testicles. I think this was the same game. Brett and Josh Morris in Origin. Brett played with a broken shoulder, and then Josh went down with the ACL, and he got up and chased down. I can't remember who it was, but made the tackle. That was pretty heroic. Sam McKendry played 14 minutes with a broken neck.
Jesus. He might never have played in NRL again after that, did he? I think I might have been his career.
He came back.
Wow.
He came back. Just going back some now, but Shane Webke played with the broken arm.
Yep. I was thinking of Shane Webke. That was in the lead up to the 06 grand final, wasn't it?
Yep. And this one, I had no idea about this. I'm mad you guys probably will, I'm guessing, but the 97 grand final in the lead up, Joey Johns.
Yep.
Punctured lung. I had no idea about that.
Yep.
Played against doctor's orders, was told that there's a good chance, well, not a good chance, but a chance you die if you play this game.
Well, that reminds me of Trevor Gilmeister getting off his at a hospital. I forget what the injury was. I'll Google it, but he was told he would be a decent chance of dying if he got up and played the game and played Origin in that famous '95 series, where he was skipper when all the Super League players were out.
Like I said, man, there's so many that you wouldn't even hear about that go on and play, and they don't come out and say it because other teams will target it.
Yeah.
So there's so many in the game every week. Like at the moment, there's probably a couple out there now that are going to play, but it's that's why we love it.
Well, you saw what happened on the weekend, right? Like everyone knew Turbo had the shoulder injury, so let's get putting bombs up and smashing him at every opportunity. They weren't letting him just like ease himself into tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah, impressive stuff.
Yeah, blood poisoning, Trevor Gilmeister. Blood poisoning him went out.
I've had blood poisoning. It's not fun.
No. Did you play an Origin afterwards?
No, I got it from playing a game of rugby, though.
Wow.
Close.
Hang
on.
Rugby,
This
Origin.
Story gets more heroic. I scored a try in the act of what gave me the blood poisoning. That's got to count for something.
How do you get blood poisoning?
So it was they started introducing like turfs over here because it's so wet. So we're playing on a turf and there's all sorts of germs on the turf, and I scored this try, grazed the inside of my knee, like right in the joint, and obviously got infected, just never healed because it was right in the joint. And a week after scoring the famous try, I could see like the infection like climbing my leg. So
Oh,
like, you be pleased to know I survived before it got to the heart. I got to the doctors, and we're good.
I'll be honest. I was stunned at this segment about toughest rugby league players and with a Karl heroic rugby union story. That was one of the greatest shocks of all time. Wouldn't have taken 500 of that.
What a segue! What a segue! All right, sticking with tough blokes, tough sports. I'm going to steal this question I heard from another podcast. It's a TAB podcast. It's NFL season. I know you blokes love NFL. And NFL is going to get us through to when NRL starts again next year. I want you guys to give me a NRL player who you think could stand out at running back, wide receiver, quarterback.
Running back, wide receiver.
I'll go first because I've had a chance to think about this. The first person to me that came to mind to a running back, you want someone who runs like they hate the ground, short, sharp burst of energy. I thought Spencer Leniu. Just the way at running back, the way he runs the ball and how hard he runs the ball.
Fullback, maybe.
Come on, let's not get in the weeds here.
He's very big.
Yeah, so
He's not that fast. You want your running back to be fast, don't you?
he could be a third down running back close to the line.
Yeah.
Someone who comes and scores a few TDs.
Yeah. I've got a wide receiver for you. I think Zach Lomax would be a good wide receiver. Get a high point of the ball. Yeah, probably not the speedy kind of vertical runner, but kind of that Wes Welker, get up there, get the ball, body position. So I'll throw Zach Lomax as a wide receiver, even though I am. Yeah, he'd be that kind of guy.
Oh,
I had Daniel Tupou in my mind for wide receiver.
For me, obvious wide receiver would be Jason Saab. Tall, fast, can jump. That would be obvious for me. In that, the running back side of things, it's a lot tougher. I remember I did a podcast with Val Holmes, and he said it's so hard because you don't get to be yourself. You have to run an exact route, and the playbook's that big. You have to try and remember every single play. So if we're just going off what we think, well, you'd think maybe a Brian Tall who can just carry people might be okay, but the height would be the letdown for him. I know I'm getting a bit technical here, but...
Well, I like it. I'd maybe go Hammer. Just because he's just soft on his feet and stuff like that. But again, probably a bit too thin and a bit too small to... not in terms of height, but in terms of... Yeah, he'd have to turn his body shape completely around like Val did at the Jets. How different did Val look when he came back than when he left? So yeah, I feel like his body was completely different.
Yeah.
Look, you guys have taken this question way too seriously.
Quarterback, I really don't know who would be able to call that. Maybe you just go to the best playmaker in the game in a Cleary. That'd be about it.
I'd be looking at arm strength and size, like Turbo maybe.
Turbo, yeah. Got to be able to run as well these days. See what I mean, Karl? Hey, it's a worm.
I regret bringing this up.
If you said to me who would be the best transition, I would say David Fafita. Big, fast, can step. He would be the best transition in my eyes.
Edge rusher?
Yeah. Edge rusher. Could probably play a tight end as well if you wanted. He could, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay. Good try. Ooh, next time.
Edit.
I thought you got, seeing as we had no preparation, I thought you got a lot more out of it than you deserved to. Perfectly.
Well, yeah, we did. We got too much. Like, it's not. I mean, I appreciate it, and it's not.
Deal with that, social media guys. You got your breakdown of route running and.
Oh. All right, let's go to the grid. If you're playing along at home, pause the pod. Find the grid for Tuesday, 24th of September. Come back and test your scores. All right, across the top. Michael Ennis, teammate, has played for the Storm. Darius Boyd, teammate, down the left, has played for the Broncos, played for Queensland, has played for the Knights. Teddy, as always, kick us off with your top row, please.
Ennis teammate Broncos, Shane Perry. Brain, 0.54. Always remember him for some reason. Storm and Bronco, not so good. Richard Swain, 4.22. And Darius Boyd, teammate Bronco, Wizard, Leon Bott, 0.14.
We're up against it here, Blake.
Yeah. Well, Michael Ennis' teammate, also my teammate, Tame Tupo, Wizard, 0.25. Storm and Broncos, one of Teddy's favourite players, Israel Folau, 4.33. And Darius Boyd teammate, Scotty Minto, 0.23 brain.
You know what? I was trying to think of Scott Minton. I could not think of him for the life of me. I was just like, not Steve Irwin, the other one who looks the other one looks like Bennett. Good get.
Shout out to the great man, Steve.
Different
And
Steve
a
Irwin,
teammate-
different Steve Irwin, just quietly.
Yeah, but I'm in the OG Steve. And his teammate, Bronco, Joel Moon, brain 0.75. Also had Israel Folau, 4.33. Normally, Izzy gets us some low points here. I was quite disappointed with that.
Wow, you deserve what you get for picking a rugby player.
There he is. Ding, 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 ding. Darius Boyd, Bronco, The Beak, Dean and Kemp, 0.52.
Nice.
Middle row, Ted.
Michael Ennis' teammate played for Queensland. Would be my 5 favourite players of all time. David Stagg, 3.51. Absolutely loved him, tackling machine. Storm played for Queensland. Unicorn. Russell Bowden, 1.16.
Can't just make up names.
Hard-working back rower.
Yeah.
And with the Storm, you just got to avoid the modern era with the Storm because like they've got 1,000 in the modern era. And Darius Boyd, teammate, played for Queensland. Neville Costigan, Wizard, 1.55.
Yeah. White flags thrown.
Oh no, I have a very bad last row, so this is well open.
Oh, only 2 wizards and a brain in the bottom row. Is it?
Nothing.
Michael Ennis' teammate played for Queensland, Dane Karl, brain, 2.58. Storm played for Queensland, Dallas Johnston, 3.35. Darius Boyd teammate for Queensland, Sean Berrigan, 2.16.
This is my worst square here. Michael Ennis' teammate played for Queensland. Darius Boyd, 8.43.
See what you did there.
Real Paul Moati.
I was about to say, I had a lot of more idea about that one.
Storm, Queensland, Dane Nelson, Wizard, 2.27. Darius Boyd teammate, Queensland, Dave Taylor, 2.37. Bottom row, Ted, bring us home.
Michael Ennis' teammate, Newcastle, Sean Rudder, 1.53. Storm and Knights, Anthony Quinn, 4.77.
Oh,
And Darius Boyd teammate, Knight, Richie Faoso, 1.84.
Yeah, that's a... Yep. Ennis teammate, George Carmont, brain, 0.92. Storm and Knights player, Jeremy Smith, 5.94. And Darius Boyd's teammate from the Knights, Jared Mullen, 2.59.
George Carmel was a good player. Underrated, I think.
might be in with a sniff of second place here. Ennis teammate, Knights, Todd Lowry, 3.07. Storm Knights, Slade Griffin, Wizard, 1.31.
That's very good. That's very good.
Darius Boyd teammate, Knight, Brain, 0.61. Alex McKinnon.
He might sneak first.
Could
I
do.
don't think so. Teddy, your total?
19.3.
Did not sneak first.
22.3.
Did not sneak second. 23.7.
Still spoonless.
Good.
I like it.
Good standards, though. Good having no Mawadi here has really lifted the group. Really lifted the group up.
I did this morning, and I was 34th overall.
You would have thought you were a massive chance of winning it, would you?
Big chance, yeah.
It was good to see no red squares today.
No red
Yeah.
squares. And good to see some round. Slade Griffin, that was good. Like that. Russell Bowden, you'll have to do your Russell Bowden research after this.
Anything to do with the Warriors? Big tick.
I've spoken to the guy who does, and I've requested no Warriors on a Tuesday.
Oh, you can't do that.
I haven't really.
Inside job.
I haven't really.
The only thing you can request is anything Blake Ashford related.
That was good, that one.
All right, let's have a look at last week's games just quickly. Sharks 26, Cowboys 18. Sharks shot out to a 24-0 lead at halftime, and nearly coughed it up. A few of us have been saying the Sharks stink all year. They've had the easy run. I think after watching this, they do stink.
For a club with such a long history of choking finals, they really put it to their fans on on Friday night. That was I don't know what to make of that. They were entitled to win that game by 40, and I think that was the difference between them and the Roosters. Is that they could not put the foot down. I thought they really played uber conservatively in the second half. If there's one team you don't want to do it against, it's the Cowboys. Not really blaming Nico Hines this one. I thought he had a pretty good game. It was nice to see him kind of, particularly defensively, get in there and control. Braden Trindle, unbelievably underrated player. Like, what I hated for a long time in rugby league, and what's starting to come back a bit with the 6 again rule, is all athletes and not enough footballers. And I think the rule now is allowing footballers back into it. There's small guys. And just the fact that he even slipped down the blind side and then could put it down like he did for that first try, the second try, was unbelievable. But it was just like, there aren't many halves, especially those robot halves who go around, who would have done anything like that. I just thought it was wonderful to see.
He's kind of put himself on the map this year, kind of.
Free agent November 1 too, so I think there'll be plenty of clubs come calling. Hello, Gus Gould.
Yeah, he was impressive. Like that, probably the game of his career.
Yeah, I think he, after his mid-season hiccup with the suspension, which I thought could have derailed the Sharks, he's come back and, like I said, when Nico Hines was out, they were a better team with him running it, and I'm glad that he's still running it while Nico's back there.
Yeah.
Another player who I think is severely underrated is Brayley. I just thought he's worked through the middle with the forwards, the amount of tackling and work he gets through. Look, he doesn't have the most expansive game, but he gets on with his business.
But gee, it was good to see him running again, because when he runs, the Sharks are way more dangerous than when he just shuffles the ball out of dummy half. And I thought the first half he made a conscious effort to get out of dummy half. And only 3 or 4 runs, nothing was busting the game open or anything like that, but I just thought it really got the Sharks on the front foot.
Well, and it does pay to who you're playing as well. Obviously, the Cowboys not so forward dominant. They might have had one front rower on the bench. The others were all utilities or back rowers. Sorry. So, it does help who you're playing. But when he, like you said, Teddy, when he's running, the forwards are going forward, which then allows Trindle and allows Nico Hines to open up their game for the backs. So, look, I don't think going forward this week, we'll be talking about it too much, but definitely reviewing the game. He was outstanding. Him and Trindle, I thought, really set up the tone in that first half.
Well, I think a few question marks have to be asked around the Cowboys as well. I just don't understand how you can't be up for a final like that. Like, they were clearly not prepared for that game to kind of come out. And sometimes you see like the Sharks or what the Panthers did to the Roosters a couple of weeks ago. I don't think the Roosters could have done much better. I don't think the Roosters weren't up for that game. I thought the Cowboys lacked energy. I thought they were very flat to start the game. And I don't understand how you go into a big finals game flat.
Yeah, well, in my eyes, I think the Cowboys are. I just didn't think they had the team. Like, you got Clifford, who will take some time to learn, as he has this year.
And he would be the worst starting halfback in the comp, and that's no knock on Clifford. Like, if you were ranking them 1 to 17, he'd probably be the last one picked. And he only got the team 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. So
you sort of feel sorry for a player like a Robson or a Cotter who give their everything each week, and probably held them for a lot. They probably held the Sharks up a couple of times, I think, a couple of Cotter's efforts. So they've got sprinkles of goodness and some excellence amongst them. But as a well-rounded team, they're definitely not there yet, far off.
I think the biggest knock on the coaching situation up there is someone like Jeremiah Nana, who's obviously full of talent. And we've seen games he's played in the past, we've seen what he's done in Origin. And his performance over the back end of the season was, like, considering where he's standing in the game, it was nothing short of disgraceful. And you've got to wonder, like, why they're not getting, why is Peyton and the crew not getting the best out of him? Because he has all the talent in the world, they're just not getting it out of him. And someone like a Scotty Drinkwater, I think they did get something out of this year. Although he did a pretty good year, but he's been up and down over time. It's like part of coaching is getting these players to consistently put in and play well. I don't know. I would not be surprised, even with the Cowboys finishing as high as they did, if there's a coaching change up there next year. Penalty try, Blake?
I think it was.
Yeah, so.
Fair call. What about you, Karl?
Yeah. I could have got that.
With blood poisoning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tough, so I'll play through that.
So it goes, John Sattler, Karl Tyler, Sam Burgess is what I've got.
Absolutely. I think that result, I think both teams, they stink. And that result was a fair reflection of the season. Like, Sharks got out hot, and then they've kind of limped their way home into the top four. Cowboys have been, best part of a flick of a coin every week.
Yep.
As to, what you're going to get. So I think, probably got what we deserved out of that game, to be fair.
Let's not forget to talk about the moment of absolute stupidity, though, when Drinkwater kicked it out on the full. It really cost them the game. It could have been 24-18. And then to not... I have a real frustration with players who are professionals who get paid a significant amount of money not knowing the rules. Because he didn't think it should have been a penalty. Like, you've got to contest the ball. I don't think I don't think it's an overly difficult rule to understand, and that's cost them. And then I had a bit more understanding with the one that bounced backwards where they didn't have the two, where it just hit him and he wasn't trying to pick the ball up or anything. But to give away that two then was so critical because they got themselves back and could have got themselves in a score. And if there's one team that doesn't handle scoreboard pressure well, it's the Sharks, showed against the Warriors a few weeks ago. So I don't know. I thought that was a pretty costly, pretty dumb mistake, and one that shouldn't happen.
Anyway, Sharks are through. Other game. Roosters 40, Seagulls 16. Was this the most electric start? First 30 seconds to a game you've ever seen?
Well, it was wild. I'll tell you what, though. If I'm ever needing brain surgery, I don't want the Manly doctor to be the one to adjudicate, because them trying to leave Jake Trebojevic on the field was nothing short of disgraceful. And well done to the NRL independent doctor for stopping it. And then for him to pass that HIA, I'm not a doctor, and I'm like, he may well have passed it. I'm not saying, but if he passed it, the test isn't strong enough, because he was out. Like, Jake Turbo is a tough SOB. Yeah, tough. And for him to be like that stuff was like, oh, this is bad. And for him to get allowed back, like, this was round 4 against the Tigers. Does Jake Turbo come back on? Absolutely zero chance. Like, it was. I hate that this is left to the clubs. Oh, there should be an independent doctor at the ground to deal with this, because if that was a normal club game, there's no way he's back on. And I thought the look for the game, in an era where we're trying to protect head injuries and protect heads and worry about CT and stuff like that. I think the NRL generally does do a good job. I think the clubs generally do a good job. But you hate to see it when it gets to a big game and there's a big player gets, we'll let him back on. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, it was when the commentators are shocked, like when news came through from the sideline that it was only a grade 2, and the commentators like, oh, okay, so he could be back. Like, it was bad.
Once it was put in grade 2, I would have liquidated everything I owned to get money on that he would be allowed back onto the field once it was deemed in grade 2. That's zero chance, but that wasn't happening.
Blake, what's the there's a test that you take at the start of the year, right, to set your...
Yep.
What's involved in the test?
It's completely different, the test that you do the start of the year, and I don't know if it's changed, but the test used to be on a computer for half hour, and it's like seeing cards, they flip over, your reaction time. So it's like a base test. But if you get knocked out in the game, you'll do that during the week. the next week after your concussion, and that's how they test it. But at the game, doctor comes in, you'll do the years of the month. Oh, the months backward. Sorry. So I'm concussed now.
I think you failed.
February, March. And look, what they'll do at the start of the test, they'll give you 4 objects. So they might say car, orange, pencil, and then they'll ask you a series of questions. One will be the months. You got to do them backwards. A couple of other questions like the time. And then at the end of about 10 minutes, they'll say, what were those 4 things? And it is quite hard when you're doing it, but at that same time, like trying to say the months backwards, I always have to stop and think. I'm not good at that.
I copped that from a bounce at the front of the Caterpillar Club not long ago in Sydney. It was I struggled then, so I don't know how I'd be doing it again.
But that's what it was when I was playing. The 15 minutes consisted of that.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. I'm off for an HIA and I'm done. So,
yeah, I think I'd just rather cop the grade 1 and 2 out.
Ruben Garrick, did he have the worst game of a centre we've ever seen? It was so bad.
We were in Maven carriage territory. I'm not quite sure we got that far, but it was right up there.
Well, man, I still don't know why he was moved at the start of the year.
Agreed.
Personally, I thought he's a great winger, great person there to be goal kicking, finishing off tries. But then now you look at the wingers and you're like, oh, you've got a Saab, you've got a Talau, you've got a Lehigh Hopewadi who have been outstanding as well. But I just think it started, like you said, from the start of the game. The forwards just bashed them. That's what you look at the Roosters bench they had on. Straight away, Connor Watson was going to have to play 80 because there was no hooker on the bench. They just went forward dominant. They knew what they were going to do. And the thing with Manly is because they love shifting the ball, you can't shift the ball when your forwards are going backwards.
Yep.
When they've been good this year, it's because their forwards have been so dominant and they've been able to shift the ball. You even go back to a week before, it was a quick play the ball that set up that last try against the Bulldogs, like when their forwards were on the front foot. So on the weekend, the Roosters did a good job just bashing the heck out of the Manly forwards, and that's how they won the game to start. And look, I know this might not be a popular opinion. I'm not saying Tedesco's the best fullback in the world because I don't think he is. But this year he's been the best fullback to play the game consistently.
Wow.
Dylan Edwards has been out.
He's fallen away since Origin too.
Well, Ponga's had a good back end of the year, but Tedesco throughout this year would be my Dally M fullback.
And if I'm picking the Kangaroos team at the end of the year, I'm picking Tedesco. And I was all for Edwards being picked in Origin, but Edwards just tailed off, I think, over the back end of the year. Couldn't agree more with you. I think Tedesco has been fantastic. And that was a true leadership game as well.
Yep.
Like, he grabbed that game by the scruff of the neck and said, come with me, lads. Like, he was everywhere. And even towards the end, what I loved about that Roosters win, which we didn't say, is that they just put the foot on the throat and they kept going until the final minute, trying to pile on points. Like, they were just like, we're going to build this up and we're not going to let anything get back and let them get anywhere, get a sniff. And I thought it was Tedesco was man of the match by the length of the straight, for mine. There's some great players. Victor Radley, toughness, we talked about that. Sanders Smith, brushing past Turbo, Jake Trebojevic, brushing past Daly Trevor and stepping Tom Trebojevic was some try for a kid with less than 15 first grade games to his name.
Yeah, that was very good. I also thought Jared Waerea-Hargreaves coming back, second game in 11 weeks or something.
Yep.
And, commentators were saying, we might only see 15 minutes in his first stint. I think he played 26 or 27 minutes.
Thought he would have been soft, though. Thought he could have really got a bit more aggro. I think he really wants to play in that grand final.
I thought after that first, the knockout on the first hit-up, I thought they were going to find a way to send him off there.
Wow, that wasn't talked about, but he did raise the elbow. Like, I know it's probably got the forearm, and it's probably sweet. Like, you can put the bumpers up, whatever. Like, I'm not otherwise. But with Jared, does not get the benefit of the doubt. That's
what I mean, yeah. But I thought, him and Lindsay Collins, their 1-2 punch was very good to start the game.
I don't give the Roosters much of a chance this week, but even if they do get through, I would say against Nelson and Tui Kamikanika, I would say Joe Waerea-Hargreaves is long odds to play in the grand final. Even if they win, the big fella is he kept it. He kept it. Although he kept it bottled up, I thought the fact that the Roosters got to a lead early helped him contain that aggression. But if they're behind, golly gosh, it's going to be some kind of spectacle.
You reckon this week if they get behind and then he just sort of goes into JWH mode and he's just trying to fight people from the Storm and get them removed from the grand final?
He could be, and he could miss his first 10 weeks at Hull Car. Good luck with that, Willie Peters.
Not a bad little trip.
Right, well, he's got that old school in him, but I agree completely. Like his presence, like he's one of those players that just makes players around him tougher and better. Like I can't really recall a good Lindsay Collins game without Jared Boyce in terms of club football. Like, they just work so well together as that 1-2 punch. And I think Bradley only played 25, 30 minutes. Like, he did not play a long period of time. Like, he sat off the entire second half. But what he added to the team at the start. And I loved how they moved him back to lock too. Put him back in the middle. Like, he's a much better middle. And Statilla's much better on the edge, I think. And, Statilla was pretty ordinary the other night. But, it was an impressive victory. But they were entitled to win big as well, I thought.
Angus Crichton with the shaved head had a real Walter White about him.
I don't know if this movie made it across the Tasman. What was that Russell Crowe movie, Blake? When he was a kid?
Romper Stomper.
Romper Stomper. I thought I had a Romper Stomper vibe. He was terrifying.
Can't say I've seen that one.
If you haven't seen it, don't.
Is it a bit like Once Were Warriors?
Yes, it might be the Australian Once Were Warriors. It's got a bit of that around it. Very low, yeah, not pleasant teams.
Okay, let's go ahead to this week. And we'll start with the Storm taking on the Roosters. Storm $1.28, Roosters $3.80. Storm are 10.5-point favourites. And the line is 30. I haven't got it here. What is
45.5.
45.5. That is ridiculously big. What do your stats say, Teddy? Actually, first, before we get into this, are we disappointed that this is the preliminary finals, top 4 teams in the year, and we've got $2.20 favourites?
Been the same like the last 3 or 4 years. Oh, of the last 8 preliminary finals, 5 have been decided by a margin of 26 or more. So close preliminary finals, less than the 6 again now. So close preliminary finals have not been the order of the day over the last little bit.
Okay. Play on, Teddy. Where were you at with stats?
Stats. Oh, so my first thoughts in this game was I was going to try and convince myself in the back of my Roosters here. I thought, well, this is a big line. That was my first point of standing. I can do the numbers, and I'm all in the Storm all of a sudden. So, Storm have won 5 straight against the Chooks, won 10 of the last 11, covered 9 of those. In those 11 matches, the Storm have hit 18 plus on 10 occasions. The Roosters have not topped 18 in the last 10. So, a note around these preliminary finals as well. The team with the week of rest has won 15 of 20. That's probably not a surprise. But since 2017, of the 14 teams in the preliminary final who played in week 2, 10 have scored 12 fewer points. I just don't see the Roosters being able to score here. Like, historically, that's up against them. The Storm tend to lift in these games. The numbers around the Storm and Amy and off big wins are huge as well. They're 14 and 7 against the Spurs, a double-digit favourite. Amy, they're 23 and 12 against the Spurs, for win of 13 plus. 18 and 9 against the Spurs, after scoring 36 plus. Worries about the Chooks. They just do not lift for the big games. 3 and 14 against the spread when playing Melbourne or Penrith. They're 7 and 18 against the spread in the top 4 teams over the last 4 years. 6 and 14 against the spread, after scoring 36 plus. Interstate teams under Grant Atkins as well, covered at 45%. So, numbers pushing very, very big on the Storm wire, so I'll be backing the Storm wires this one.
Anything on the total there? Because I think I've found a nugget.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning the over because these preliminary finals I tend to go over the last little bit, but Unders 21-13 since 2008-22. 5 of the last 6 have taken 36 or fewer between the Storm. So they've got a very low scoring recent history. The under is 15-10 when the Storm played top 4 teams. But the over is 14-7 when they're a double-digit favourite at Amy. And double-digit favourites under Grant Atkins, the over hits 56.3%.
Okay.
I know you want to bet the under, don't you?
Hey?
You want to bet the under, I can do it.
I think, I'm just sort of looking at just these guys head to head in the last. Let's look at the last 10. Average is say 35 total, and in that, the average winning margin is 15. So Storm can still win big. Roosters can't score points. Everyone can win.
Also noteworthy, they played in the final last year. I think it was week 2 of the finals, maybe, and was 18-13, so 31 points. So
for me, it's depend how you look at it. I went back and looked at the actual teams that played. So we go back to the final last year. There was no Pappenhauser, no Hughes, and I'll read you the Roosters backline. They had Tedesco, but they had Junior Ponga and Jackson Paulo on the wing, and they had Paul Momirovski and Corey Allen in the centres. So we're saying all these stats, but that's the team. Even we go this year when they played, there was no Munster for the Storm, but there was no Joey Manu and no Hargraves for the Roosters. So when we look at things, I look back at just the recent form, and I think it's going to be hard to beat the Storm. I do. But if I'm looking at these 2 games, I think the Roosters have a serious shot. And why I think that is not just the weekend, because I said that to someone and they go, don't get bluffed by what just happened. I said, what I'm looking at is the 25 minutes after halftime against the Panthers. Now, the Roosters were dominated in that first half. They still found enough effort to come back in that 25 minutes that if Ashley Klein doesn't rule on what was a backward pass, he said it was forward, he was right in line, it was one of the worst calls. They go down and score. That's a 1-score game. And they've come back from 20 points down to a Penrith team who we're all thinking will probably dominate this competition. So in my eyes, the Roosters have enough here to worry the Storm. And I really think that this will be a close game. I know all the stats aren't leaning there, but I'm just going on that recent form, the eye value of what I've seen, and then going back to the teams and seeing they haven't really had full teams. And I know there's no Walker, there's no Smith, but after Connor Watson's efforts the last couple of weeks, and even, Sanders Smith played a role, I think if Joey Manu gets involved at 6, does some extra share around that ball, I think they're a chance. I think they're a shot in this game. I'm really excited for this game to kick off this week, and I hope everyone is, because I think this will be massive. I think this will go right down to the wire in my eyes.
In fairness to Paul Momirovski and Corey Allen, neither of them turned their back on rugby league to go play rugby union, so good, honest, tough guys.
Looking at...
I'm glad that's what you got out of all that.
I had nothing else after that.
I've got all the margins between these two going back to 2009. And if I go... I'm going random number here, going back the last 18 matches. 11 of those 18 have been single-digit margins. Either way, there's just been a couple of absolute blowouts to the Storm, kind of lift that average. So
it's a big line. Like I said at the start, I really wanted to talk myself into the Chooks, because at face value, the line does look too big for mine. But I'm a prostitute to the numbers, so I will. I'll do it. I'll do what I'm told.
Well, let's go to.
He's rattled.
Oh man! You know what? I'm going to have a look. I'm going to use our cool new feature, the last 5. Just have a quick look at the try scorers.
I'll give you a good try scoring bit. Jerome Hughes scored in 7 of his last 10 against the Chooks, and good try scoring form too.
He has 4 tries in his last 3 games.
To be fair, he scored 3 of those in one game.
You don't need to ruin a good stat, Ted.
You don't. Trust me, I'm the master at manipulating stats to what everyone needs.
Willie Warbrook, 7 in his last 5. That also includes a hat-trick. Teddy.
Yeah, and did score in that final last year to beat the Chooks with that famous bomb catch.
Yep. Daniel Tupou, 6 in his last 5. Dominic Young, 5 in his last 5. There's try scorers all over the park here.
Teddy's been flying as well lately.
6 in his last 5 and 5 in his last 3.
Yeah, and there's been good black figures in both of them. Like you look at your Youngs and your Tupos, they'll probably even money whatever this week, but last week they're like $1.50, $1.60. Teddy's still in the black.
270. 270 Teddy, 280 Jerome Hughes.
Little SGM, those two.
Yeah, into a same race multi, and we're flying. Penrith $1.25, Cronulla Sharks $4. Penrith have won 7 of the last 8, 7 of the last 10. The average winning margin in the last 10 between these two, 19.8. Of the 7 wins that the Panthers have had in those 10 games, their average winning margin is 27.4, and the Sharks is 2. I'm guessing you're to tell us, Ted, the Sharks have no hope here.
No, absolutely zero. Absolutely. Even the way we're looking at now, like a few little angles you mentioned there as well. Like they've been held scoreless in the last 2 and 3 of the last 5. Sharks, like this is not a good situation for them to be in. Like I said earlier in the last one, like this is their preliminary finals favour, and not surprisingly, favour the home team, the team with the rest, and typically the more talented team. Well, bang, bang, bang. Parents have covered that off completely. Big favourites do well under Ashley Klein. 6.5 point or more favourites cover 57% under Klein. He's the NRL guy, so that's they'll definitely be trying to get Parent into the side. You'd think, particularly after the crowd that showed up for the Sharks game. I think if there was a preference for the NRL, they'll be having Parent in the grand final. A big note for mine as well. We've talked about Parent having gears, right? We saw that in week 1. How they just flick the switch and bang. They've covered 6 of their 7 finals in the last 3 years, and they're 20-11 against the spread against top 4 teams. And you've got to think against those top 4 teams, they've been some pretty hefty lines they've been covering as well. So they've covered 5 of 7 at Acor. The Sharks covered just 3 of 15 against top 4 teams. They've won like 2 of the last 11 finals. I don't. You look at the Sharks and the way they played the second half. I just don't. They can't match the energy of Parent, and they've also got too much stupidity in their team as well. Someone like a Jesse Ramian gives away dumb penalties, and you can't do it against Parent. Like discipline is so important against Parent. Like you really need to almost be like a cobra, right? It's just you have a few strikes, just like otherwise kick to corners, keep them down there, play a field position game. Don't try and put on 30 points against Penrith. Like, it's probably not going to happen. Like, you want to beat Penrith, you'd have to try and grind this out 14-12 or something like that. So, the Christians to the Lions this week, I think, the Sharks.
Yeah, as I was with the Roosters, I was heavy on the Roosters. I think the Roosters are a chance in this. I give the Sharks nothing. I don't see where they trouble them. I think to Teddy's point, you do need to kick the corners and try and match them for as long as you can. But on the other side as well, you need to play like a Parramatta in a sense who have had success the last couple of times against them by offloading. Yep. Because every time they dominate you, which they will do in the tackle, they'll dominate you. They have studied you that much that they know all your moves. Yep. They know what you're going to do. When you get a set line against the Panthers, it's almost unbreakable. So I don't see this team having too much threats. I don't see where they threaten them at all. And, I'm all in on Penrith here. I just don't see this being much of a game. That's why I'm excited for Friday night, and I'll probably watch half of this game and fall asleep.
It's I think it's spot on. Like I think second phase play is the only real way to beat Penrith. You've got to do it on the back of good field position and stuff like that. But I think the Sharks, I'll pull up numbers now, but I think they rank in the bottom 4 or 5 for offloads.
Yeah.
They're not an offloading team.
Try scorers, Brian To'o has scored 2 in his last 2. He is $1.58 anytime this week. Ronaldo Mulitalo, he has got 5 in his last 5. Luke Garner.
Oh, he's my man this week. Absolutely all over Luke Garner.
4 tries in his last 3. Got a double last week in his last game. He's 250 anytime.
He runs that edge as well as any back rower. I'm a bit surprised that there's this whole talk that Scott Sorensen might come back. I think Garner offers way more. He's a good defender. He works hard, but he chases kicks as well as anyone. Other little grubber kicks through. But he runs a great line. Like, he's the Britain McCaw of the left. Like, just runs that hard outside in as well as anyone. I love Luke Garner. I think he's a great back-season addition for Panthers.
And a nice little try scorer roughie there, Jerome Luai, 450, has scored 3 times in the last 3 appearances. Has scored a try in the last 3 appearances against the Sharks.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. I was going to say Cleary for mine has scored in the last 2 prelims and scored in 4 of his last 6 finals. So maybe a little halves combo there. Because they're going to put points on. There's plenty to go around.
I was just about to say, the way we're talking, all of them might get across.
I think there's maybe a little bit of value as well. I'll be backing the Sharks to 0. I don't know if there's an offer at TRB New Zealand. We'll have a little look, and if not, we should get them up. But you can definitely bet under 10 points for the Sharks, which is 225. But I'd be backing to 0. I would have a little bit of the old nature boy Ric Flair on the 0.
There usually is a power play as the Panthers to win to 0. It will be there, I believe so. Come kick off.
There is normally you can pick bands.
Like the band is 0 to 10 though, so that's the 2.
There is usually a power play.
Yeah, I suspect it is a market that comes up later in the week as well. So because it's very much based weather dependent stuff as well. So a little bit of rain around Sydney this weekend as well. So something to watch out for.
I feel like I might have put a same game multi together in the wrong game. I'll stick to my guns. Right, should we do some betting, lads?
Yep.
This doesn't surprise me one bit, but Paul, before he left, or was stood down, did not give me his bets for the week. So automatically loses another $100. That puts him... He's going to touch 2K before we finish this thing up.
Do you give him the chance like you gave Surly many times this year? Give him 200 next week to see if he can bring it back.
He's only been doing this for 28 weeks this year. He knows the drill. I'll just check my phone just in case.
He's sipping a pina colada somewhere at the moment.
Where is the big fella?
An undisclosed he's on a cruise, I think. A cruise ship somewhere.
Oh, he's taking a second gig performing.
International waters. Real danger from mighty territory there. Teddy, $100 this week. Where are you going with it?
I'm going to have a 2-leg multi. I'm going to take the Storm minus 18.5 into Penrith minus 17.5. That comes out at $6.98. I'm going to have 70 on that. I have 30 on a double, which I think will be around $9. I'll get the exact one for you. Jerome Hughes try into Luke Garner try.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I'm going to run that down. I've got 2 weeks to go. I want to run that down.
Still chasing. Tough for you when I just block it out.
Well, you've been blocking it out since you're up 1,000 and you down it.
Real Cronulla Shark stuff, mate.
There's a real Cronulla Shark. Look, I might have just Scotty drink water and put it out on the full, but I'm having a crack.
I'll go next. I'm going to put $90 on Penrith Panthers 13 plus at $2. And I'm going to put $10 on a same game multi. The under 45.5 is a Storm game. Under 45.5, Storm minus 6.5, Willie Warbrook try and Daniel Tupou try. That comes out at $20.87. $10 on that.
Larry.
Blake.
I will have $80 on the Panthers minus 15.5 and the Roosters plus 10.5. So $80 on at $4.18. And I'll have my last 20 on a little try scorers double. I have Teddy to score in the Rooster Storm game, and I'll have Jerome Luai to score in the Panthers game. $20 on at $11 88.
Nice. And head to the promotions page on the app or their website to check out what is happening this weekend.
We've got a special bonus podcast next week, Karl.
You're calling this out, making me commit to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to go through our Dally M stuff before.
Yeah, Paul's not going to be back, so...
well, the Dally M's next week, so sorry, Paul.
Okay. Blake, are you available next week?
What day?
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll go through our season awards.
We'll take this offline.
And we'll have a little recap at our wins and losses with our pre-season stuff.
Looks like Teddy's running the cutter next week.
I don't even know what a cutter is, but I can cut. I can cut.
Rugby union reference. Sorry, mate.
I'm taking the cutter means stuff that gets some of my more egregious stuff that gets cut out of the podcast. Is that correct?
That is a perfect spot to leave it. Blake, thank you very much for your time this week, mate. Your insight is always appreciated.
Thanks, lads. See
Teddy,
you next week.
You too. Thank you.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me. And we've almost made the finish line. Unbelievable. 0 suspensions. 0. only a number of legal cases. Single digits.
There's still time. And to the punters, thank you very much. We'll be back next week to do it all again on the Advantage Line.